Camping underneath the stars has been on my bucket list for about forever now. I made an attempt during lockdown, which kind of ended up underneath the tarp in my garden, which didn't quite cut it for me. The only way I was going to get anyone to come wild camping with me was to ask it for a birthday present. And there's only one person that's as foolish as I, and that is my brother. And the plan was to wild camp somewhere in the middle of nowhere. There are some sandbanks in the middle of the Malden Sea. We would get some supplies, grab my kayaks, and wild camp on a private island. As per usual, I thought I'd make a video on it. It's going to be a cross between Castaway, Bear Grylls and Pixar's Onward.
Well done! I'm sorry!
And in hindsight, for someone who's never done any wild camping before, it might have been a little bit of a dangerous expedition. And my brother's one of these kind of fair weather kind of guys. He won't kayak unless it's boiling hot. And unfortunately, September in England isn't renowned for being warm, especially in the middle of the sea. So fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, and against my better judgment, we decided to change our camping plans to somewhere more inland. And my brother decides to invite an old school friend who, apart from a handful of brief encounters, I haven't really seen in about 10 years. So, quick introduction to my friend Dan. When we were in school, we used to like running up walls. We pretended we were parkour stuntmen. Where Dan eventually grew up, got a degree, and stopped running up walls, I did not. Cool, so the packing really light. So I don't even know if I need this coat, but just in case, absolutely ease it down. Sleeping bag. It's all going to go in here, I do not know. Hi Kia.
You're going to pack Kia?
You're not coming with me this time. This is going to go on the outside, which is my hammock. Haven't used it yet, so
Kia, what do you think?
Test. The tarpaulin to go over the top of me. Now, that actually doesn't go down to as much as I thought it would. It looks like quite a lot.
That's because you haven't packed it properly.
It's packed properly. If it fits, it sits.
What about snacks?
They're in there. They're in the kitchen. The only snack you ever need, and here it is, Bombay mix. In fact, Faulty mix is better, but Bombay mix is the only place the only trail mix you can get in England, apparently, or in Lidl anyway. I know. So I won't see you for a little bit, but I'll see you in the morning. I know. I know. Can I have a kiss goodbye? I'm gonna go, hi. So the night is finally upon us, and my brother decides to bail because there's a 0.01% chance of rain. This doesn't stop Dan, and it just gives me and him a good excuse to have a 10-year catch-up. And hats off to Dan for the commitment, because he's actually starting a new job the following day after camping. This bloke needs to write a book about his life. He's actually thinking of starting a YouTube channel, which I'll put in the description when he decides to get around to creating it. The first time after seeing him for 10 years, and this is kind of our first interaction. Check this out. Got the GoPro out. I think my mate Dan's up here somewhere. He decided to scream to show me his location, and there's someone standing next to him, so let's see if we can find him. I think it's this lake here.
You recording?
Yeah, filming.
So this is a Korean rice wine. It takes about 9 days to make.
What's it made out of? Rice, I assume, and
Rice, nuruk, which is like an enzyme which breaks down the starches into sugars, and then yeast to ferment the sugars. Give it a smell. It's quite thick though.
Oh, it smells good though, yeah.
Yeah.
Smells like, what have I had similar to that?
Oh, you've never had anything like this, mate, trust me. It's strong as well. Like I'm fairly confident it's about 16%.
Okay.
Yeah.
You sure you want to give me that much? That's a lot of your portion.
It's off. there's like lactobacillus or whatever in there. It's like a probiotic or prebiotic.
Yeah.
So it's a health food.
Oh, cool.
It really is. No, it's got it's like, say if you drank 20 yogurts in a row.
Yeah.
Like that's how much gut bacteria it's getting.
Cool.
You'll feel the burn. I don't know if you've just eaten, but like you'll
Yeah,
feel it in your stomach. It's got to be. It's definitely stronger than like an average wine,
Yeah.
which is like 14%.
No, it's cool.
Mm.
Right, and this is where we're sleeping tonight. Yours looks a bit more professional than mine.
I was in the Scouts, yeah. I was in the Scouts.
So, despite filming all this footage, I really wasn't sure what I was going to do with the video. Do I make it about no matter how long you haven't seen someone for, even if it's 10 years, effectively friendship isn't constrained by the ticking of time? Or is that a bit too much? Or do I complain about the current financial system and how affording to go anywhere these days is financially destroying, and how camping is an option despite it being somewhat illegal in England? And even though there's a ton of research that suggests being outside is great for your mental and physical well-being, rather than make any sort of dramatic point about anything, here's some footage of us camping.
Well, this is where I'm sleeping tonight. Night, mate. Night, Dan.